We want to welcome you to campus and let you know what your new home is going to be like, and we want to be able to show it to you. But since we can't do it in person, we are hoping to give you as much information as possible today to let you know what it's going to be like at your new home come this fall. I recognize that some of you are accepted students for this fall, which is awesome. We're primarily going to be talking to students who are coming this fall and enrolling this fall. But if you have not yet been accepted to campus, or maybe if you are an underclassman and it's too early for you to apply, you could definitely take away some good information from today's session. So please stay with us anyway. So we're going to move forward and going to give you a little bit of insight about what's going to happen today. So this is our agenda. First, I'm going to introduce our presenters. We have a team of 3 of our experts today. So I'll introduce you to our presenters. Then we're going to dive into some detail about the biggest questions regarding housing and dining. So we're going to go into like the main things that we want you to know, or that most students want to know. At the end of the presentation, or at the end of the live questions, I should say, we will provide you with contact information to follow up with you. And we're just so excited to welcome you home to the main campus, the New York campus of the Culinary Institute of America. So next, I'd like to introduce our presenters. We have 3 presenters today. We have Dr. J.J. Manley, Dennis Macheska, and Dean Bruce Mattel. So I'm going to first ask J.J. to introduce himself to you, and then we'll go to Dennis and then to Bruce. So J.J., please.
Hi, I'm Dr. J.J. I'm the Associate Dean for Campus Life and Student Development here at the Culinary Institute of America, and I'm very, very excited to be presenting with you today, and I look forward to sharing information about living on campus and answering any questions you may have.
Hi everyone, my name is Dennis Macheska. I am the Associate Dean of Student Affairs and Residence Life, and I work really closely with Dr. JJ, and his team and my team help to ensure that you have a really awesome experience at the CA. So as Michelle pointed out, we're really sad that we don't get to see you face to face, but technology is our friend in these situations, and we're happy that we get to interact with you today, albeit through Skype.
Hi, everybody. It's nice to meet you virtually like this. I am Senior Associate Dean for Culinary Arts, so I work with our team to oversee the curriculum and the faculty in the Culinary Arts program, among many other things that we try to do. And one of them is helping to manage the dining system, which I'll explain more to you about in just a bit.
Awesome. So you have met our presenters. So now we're going to dive right in. And the first topic up, first we're going to talk about dining. So these are some common questions. So Chef Mattel is going to take you through some of the common questions about our meal plans.
Well, I got to tell you that there is no college that has better food for our students to eat than the Culinary Institute of America. And you could imagine just why. That's what we do. We're all about food. And whether you're making a choice to eat from the cuisines of Asia kitchen, or the cuisines of the Mediterranean kitchen, or the modern banquet cookery class, these are options that you're going to have every day. And the way that it works is, we feed our students through our educational system. And the way we do it is your ID card gets loaded up with points. And the points, the amount of points is based on the plan that you purchase. And when you go to different outlets, whether it's a production kitchen in Roth Hall, our main building, or it's the main student dining area down by our student commons called the Egg, there will be signs that indicate how many points each meal will be, or each item will be. Usually up in Roth Hall in our production kitchens, the meals are kind of bundled. The reason why we serve our students through this system is to be able to accomplish the production-based competencies and learning outcomes that are based into each class. You might go to one kitchen and it may be 8 points, another kitchen it may be 10 points, but it's all designed that to work with your meal plan. I'll be telling you a little bit about the options that you could choose when you enroll. But the first thing I want to do is tell you that we do have two kinds of points: blue points and gold points. Now, regardless, if you're using your card and you have blue points, which will be the majority of the points you have, and you go to use it, your card, those points will be taken first before you go into your flexible gold points. The blue points are designed to get you through the school week, and it'll be enough points for you to have 2, even 3 meals a day, depending on how you use those points. And the gold points are really designed for weekends and when you want something extra or you want something special. And we'll talk more about this on our next slide. So you could choose plans that all have 1,400 blue points, and then as you upgrade, you have more gold points. And so that's the basic difference between these plans. And the more time you spend at the CIA, the more flexibility you will also have with the basic points as well.
First, I just want to chime in for just 1 minute. We can go back to those, the options there, JJ. I just want to let all students know that the plan on the left, the CIA meal plan, that plan is required for all students. Because as Chef Mattel mentioned, the meal plan is so much a part of the educational experience that we want to make sure that you are eating and enjoying meals and learning about food as part of your educational program. So the main plan is the CIA meal plan. That one is required for all students, whether you live on campus or live off campus. So that plan is this kind of the standard plan. And then again, as he said, the other options allow for more flexibility.
So where and how do you use your blue points? Well, at your meal periods, you actually go to our production kitchens, or you go to the line that is down at the student commons at the Egg, as is the pasta noodle bar, the salad bar, the grab and go area. And down at our main dining area, the Egg, we also have a marketplace where you could buy certain ingredients if you want, or certain beverages or impulse items. Some of those items you can use blue points, and others you use gold points. So you will, during your meal period, you'll walk actually up to the kitchen of your choice and ask for a meal, and your fellow students will be preparing and getting you that meal that you could have in one of our dining areas, or take it back to your residence hall should you choose to do that. Now the gold points, as I said before, gold points are good pretty much everywhere. Blue points are not. You can use gold points at the cafe at the Egg, which is where there's a barista station, there's pastries, there's many other impulse items. The Innovation Kitchen, as you see in the photo, is actually a kitchen that's used by our bachelor students doing their entrepreneurship concentration. And they design actually a concept, a quick service, fast food concept, and they'll design that over a semester, and then they'll run that concept the next semester, actually run it, and then compare, do all the analytics to determine whether it's a viable type of idea or needs a little bit more work. So that kitchen, you would have to use gold points. And then we have 5 restaurants on our campus, public restaurants. And there are times where we allow students to actually dine in those. Well, they could dine at any time, but there are times where we actually allow students to use points and gold points during certain times. So that's another option for you. But as I said, you could go to campus restaurants really at any time if you make a reservation and use a credit card or such. Now, if you have allergies or intolerances, allergies are posted And I mean, the allergens that may be contained in some foods are posted at the front of each production kitchen, or signage where different food items might be served. And but I would recommend that if you have allergies, not only do you just use the menus to determine if you could eat it or not, I would recommend you to always ask the chef or the person at the station just to get just more reinforcement of that. We also have what's called our Oasis Kitchen, which is a separate facility on campus that prepares foods, packaged foods of all different types of classifications, whether they're entrees or side dishes or desserts, that are free of the 8 basic allergens that the FDA requires labeling for. Now, if you have a lifestyle that you choose, such as veganism or vegetarianism, we also provide food, many items that fall into that criteria. And those items you could find at our production kitchens, as well as down at the egg. So the main thing is, if you really, what you do when you come to campus, if you have allergies, is you speak to our specialists in that, and then they alert people around campus of that you have that allergy if necessary, so that we keep you protected. But the best thing to do is to always self-advocate for yourself and make sure people know, and you get always a couple of different reinforcements that the food is okay for you to consume.
So right now, we're going to start talking a little bit about living on campus. So I'm assuming a lot of you who are on today's presentation, one of the reasons is because you are choosing to live on campus when you get to come in the fall. But there may be some of you who aren't sure. You're wondering, is there really a benefit to living on campus? And I just wanted to kind of go over this slide with you, because over the last 10, 20, 30 years, there's actually been a lot of documentation showing that college students who live on campus actually are more successful and have a more positive experience during college because they live on campus. So you'll notice right there, the very first thing is that students who live on campus actually get higher grades in their classes. And a lot of that has to do with location, location, location. And this idea that you are literally steps away from anything you need to be successful on campus, whether it's obviously you can walk to class, the library is right there for you to go to if you want to get help, and people who can help you with studying. And so all of that leads to higher grades. Like I said, you're close to everything, friends, faculty, staff. It's actually cheaper to live on campus than it is off campus. And I always have students ask me about that. They're like, well, I can find this apartment and the rent is only this much. But a lot of times they don't realize, or they forget, there's a lot of other costs that are not included in that rent. Whereas when you live on campus, everything's included. So Wi-Fi's included. We take care of your garbage and your recycling. When you bring it outside and put it in the receptacles, then you don't have to worry about paying for someone to pick it up. Snow removal, electricity, hot water, all that stuff is all taken care of. Whereas if you live off campus, those are almost always additional costs. The campus itself is an extremely safe environment. I'm going to talk a little bit about that more later on, because I know that's a thing that's always important to parents and to students. Like I said, when you're living on campus, you have a lot easier access to support. Obviously, our staff is here to help all of our students, whether you live on campus or off campus, we're here to help you. But when you live on campus, it's just a little bit easier to get to that. You don't have to worry about driving here late at night from home or early in the morning. You have to get here earlier, finding a place to park, any of that stuff. Living on campus also gives you an instant community. In the profession that you guys are choosing, knowing people is everything. I mean, the people you're going to school with, people who are farther ahead in the program, people who come after you in the program, these are all people that you're most likely going to work with down the road when you're starting your own business, working in a bakery, serving at resorts, things like that. And so the more people you get to know, the better. And everyone here is always here to help you. So even students who are farther ahead in the program, for instance, are here to help you and help you with as tutors or help you as orientation leaders, and they know what you're going through, so they can help you with any types of issues you may have. That leads us to the leadership opportunities. Living on campus, you have an opportunity to be an RA, which is a resident assistant who lives in our residence halls, helps our students to be successful. These are students who have gone through the same exact classes that you're going to go through, and so they know how involved it is and how much it takes to be successful in your classes. Networking is an amazing thing. We are always having programs and activities and on this campus that gives you a chance to come together, have some fun, socialize, de-stress from the day, as well as meeting some amazing alumni. The greatest thing about our campus is our alumni love our students, and they're constantly coming back to campus. And when they come back to campus, they want to spend time with students. And when you live on campus, it's just easier to take advantage of those opportunities. And of course, living on campus just provides you amazing memories. I bet if you talk to your parents, if they went to college and ask them about it, they'll let you know that some of the best memories they have from college are the activities and events and things that they did while they were living on campus, being in the residence halls, taking part in study groups, hang out with the friends in their rooms. So all of these things lead to a more positive, successful experience at the college. And so we strongly, if you're not sure if you want to live on campus, if you live close enough, you're like, I can commute, I would strongly encourage you to consider living on campus, at least for your first couple of years, because you're going to find that it's much more beneficial for you. So right now I'm going to turn it over to Dean Macheska, who's going to talk to you a lot more about the specifics about living on campus.
Good afternoon, everyone. So as JJ pointed out, there are a lot of advantages to living on campus. And one of the things that you're probably most eager to learn about is where would you live? And where do freshman students live when they come to campus? So the majority of students will likely be assigned to Hudson Hall. Hudson Hall is our largest residence hall on campus. And a typical room setup, there are 4 styles of rooms that are within Hudson Hall. So the most common style are double rooms that are within Hudson, and this is a picture that you see here of a traditional double room in Hudson Hall. So there's a wardrobe with drawers, there's a desk and a chair and 2 beds and a micro fridge, and I'll talk a little bit more about those amenities shortly, but that's a typical double room. There's HVAC in the room and a window, and in Hudson Hall, the double rooms have a shared bathroom experience. So on that floor, there's a bathroom identified as a male bathroom and a female bathroom, which is a community bathroom. But the room you would share strictly with just your roommate, and then the bathroom would be shared with the individuals that live on that floor. The other styles within Hudson are triple rooms. And the triple rooms are similar size to doubles, but they have loft unit beds. And underneath the bed is actually your desk and your dresser and a bookshelf and a chest of drawers. And so everything is compact, and it allows 3 people to live in one room. And in the triple rooms, there's a bathroom for just the 3 people that live in the room. The other option is a quad. And the quad is double the size of a double room. So it's a fairly large room, and that's for 4 individuals to share one room space. It's divided down the middle by a half wall, so you can walk around either side of that wall, and usually it splits the room somewhat so that it feels like there's 2 people on one side and 2 people on the other side, but there's really 4 people within that space. The quads are in the corners of Hudson Hall, and they're the largest rooms that we offer on campus. Again, those rooms, the 4 people that live there would share the room, but they would share then the common bathroom within the hall. And then the last option are medical singles. And so there are singles that are within Hudson for those individuals that have medical need to be in a space by themselves.
Dennis, while we're talking about this, I just want to go back to the bathrooms for a moment, because that's always a common question that students have, are the bathroom situation. Of course, bathrooms are a very private scenario, but when people think of a common bathroom, they're not always sure what to expect.
Sure, let me talk about that.
Thank you.
So the common bathrooms in Hudson are large spaces with multiple stalls. So as Michelle pointed out, using a bathroom facility is something that we expect some level of privacy when doing that. And so we've done everything we can to ensure that individuals have that private space while they're in a bathroom. So there are individual stalls in the bathroom for toilets and urinals, etc. There are also a whole bank of sinks for individuals to use. I want to say there's probably 6 to 7 sinks per rest area per bathroom. And then there's also a shower area. And the shower area is not, those old-fashioned gym showers you think of from like the 1980s or 70s, where everyone is in just a giant room with shower heads. These shower facilities are ones in which there's privacy. So there's hard plastic dividers that separate each area to shower, as well as shower curtains, as well as isolated changing areas. So there is a lot of effort that's gone into ensuring that individuals still have that private space, but while sharing a bathroom. And one of the benefits of a community bathroom is that our facilities management team, who does a pretty excellent job of keeping up with making sure buildings and spaces are clean those bathrooms every single day. So every day they're sanitized, disinfected, wiped down, and cleaned by professional cleaners every single day.
One of the things that I find more attractive personally about a community bathroom is that you don't have to wait. There's no waiting. And it's also, sometimes, fun to get ready in the mirrors together, that kind of a thing. And also, I personally find that sometimes there's a little bit more privacy and anonymity in a larger bathroom than just sharing one off of a room. So I just encourage students to think about that in a different way, that having a lot of options, not having to wait, that can be really attractive. So if anyone has any concerns about that, most students find that they enjoy the option of having a community bathroom.
So as an upperclassman, so the way housing works at the Culinary Institute of America and at the New York campus is that most freshmen are put into Hudson Hall, and then they advance through the other residence halls, lodges, and townhouses, depending on class level. So at some point at your stay at the CIA, as you become more upperclassmen and go from freshman to sophomore, sophomore to junior, junior to senior, you will advance through the different living environments that we've created at the Culinary. So from Hudson Hall, many students will end up during their sophomore year in Angel, Pick Herndon, Rosenthal Hall, or the lodges. And the residence halls, Angel, Pick, and Rosenthal. So Pick is Pick Herndon, but we affectionately call it Pick. And so those 3 buildings have double rooms or triple rooms. And then they have a bathroom, a private or semi-private bathroom for the 2 people or the 3 people that live within that room. The room is the same size as the double room in Hudson with a bathroom added into it. For the lodges, those are suite-style living situations where there are 4 people that live in a suite, and in that suite, the students share a bathroom, and they either have 4 single rooms within a suite, 2 double rooms within a suite, or 2 single rooms and 1 double room within a suite. But there's always 4 people that live in a suite and they share a bathroom together. And then the townhouses, which are mostly upper class students, these are juniors and seniors primarily, and those are actual townhouses. So there are 8 people per townhouse. There are 3 levels of living. So you walk through the door onto the actual middle level. We call that the second floor, but it's really you're walking into the second floor. And there's going to be a kitchen, a living room, a dining room. There's also 2 rooms that are typically off of the kitchen, and there's a bathroom for the 2 individuals that live on that floor. If you go down the steps to the ground floor or the first floor, there are another 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, a laundry room, and a storage area for the house. And if you walk back up the stairs, you're now again on the second level with the kitchen, the dining area, and the 2 bedrooms. You can go up another flight of stairs to the 3rd level of that townhouse. and there's going to be 4 bedrooms and another bathroom. So each townhouse has 3 bathrooms for the 8 individuals to share, has 1 laundry facility, a kitchen, a dining room, a living room, and a storage area, as well as 8 single bedrooms. And so the townhouses are reserved primarily for our juniors and seniors. And that is something that as freshmen, you wouldn't necessarily be privy to, but as you stay on and the longer you get through the system, that is certainly going to be an option that's available to you. And it gives students a lot of freedom and autonomy to kind of experience what it's like to live on your own or live away from home or be far away from classes or have distance between your academics as well as what your living situation, because the townhouses are tucked away in the woods on the farthest part of our property. So I talked a little bit about this when I was describing the room in Hudson Hall. And so each room comes with a desk and a chair, a dresser, a wardrobe, and an extra long twin bed. So those are the basics that we provide in each one of the rooms for students to use. And then shared is a micro fridge. So we ask that students don't bring their own microwaves or refrigerators. We provide them in the room. So when you get there, you will have a micro fridge combination unit. And what that unit is a refrigerator and then a freezer section, because a lot of our students really like to grab some ice cream and put it in the freezer for that evening snack, and a microwave. And the microwave also has an outlet where you can plug things in. It's got, I think, a USB port to charge your phones, etc. And the micro fridge is shared between the 2 roommates that live within the room. If you're in a triple, then it's shared between the 3 roommates. And if you're in a quad, then we provide 2 micro fridges per quad room. So that means 2 individuals will share 1 micro fridge and the other 2 individuals living in that quad will share the other micro fridge. Every room on campus comes with air conditioning and heat. A lot of colleges, particularly the college I went to when I was an undergrad, did not have air conditioning. So air conditioning on a college campus is definitely a perk, and we're really excited that you have that perk. We also provide high-speed Wi-Fi throughout campus, so in every residence halls as well as throughout the entire campus. Free laundry facilities are located in every single building on campus. We have lounges in every building, and there's a kitchen that is open for residents of that building to use on a regular basis to cook late at night or to cook food in between meal plan or to supplement your meal plan. Dean Mattel talked about getting items or food from the marketplace. So a lot of students will pick up things like pasta or sauce or tomatoes or fresh ingredients or stuff to make a salad and then use the community kitchen to prepare their own food. So on our website, we have a really detailed list of items that you can bring and items that you can't bring. And so I'm going to ask Dr. JJ to jump in here for me if I miss something, because it's possible I'm going to miss something. But the big ones, I mentioned already that we ask that you not bring a microwave or a refrigerator because we provide those. And so a lot of times we get questions about those. We also ask that you not bring bed risers. So you'll oftentimes see that a lot of places will market bed risers, which are items to lift the bed up higher. All of our beds are adjustable so that they actually can be raised to the highest level and allow you to store items underneath without needing those risers. So we ask that you not bring them. And if you do feel like you will need them because you want the bed to be extra high, we ask that you not bring the ones that have the electrical outlets in them because they're not UL rated, and there's always this concern about fire and them becoming a fire hazard. We also encourage you to, if you're going to bring a lamp or extra lighting for your room, that you bring bulbs that are compact fluorescent or LED because they pose less risk for fire hazard. And we ask that you not bring incandescent bulbs or halogen bulbs as they pose a greater risk for fire hazard. We also ask that you bring a surge protector if you're going to need multiple outlets, and that the surge protector have an on and off switch and be UL rated versus an extension cord, which you oftentimes see sold at like dollar stores or Target, et cetera, that just have the 2 prongs where you can plug things in, because they aren't rated to the level that we would want to ensure that all of our students are safe on campus.
Dennis, just real quick, one way to tell if it's a surge protector or just a multi-plug is that the surge protector should have a reset switch, because that's what it does. Is if for some reason there's an electrical surge, it flips it. Basically it's like a circuit breaker. It just shuts off power to the power strip, and it can be reset by pushing the reset button. So it's an on and off button, but there's also should be a reset button on there, and that's how you know if it's a surge protector versus just a power strip. So make sure that when you're buying those, and if you're not sure, you could always reach out to us. You know, you can send us a photo of, here's what I want to bring. Is this a suitable? Sometimes we can do that, but basically as long as it has a built-in fuse with a reset switch and an on-off switch, you're probably safe.
We also ask that you, when bringing bedding for the campus, that you bring bedding that will fit a twin extra long bed, because the mattresses are all twin extra long. We also, when you complete your housing application, which I'm going to talk with you about shortly, you're going to hear information, or you're going to see information on that application about OCM, which is a company we partner with, where you can order bedding and have it shipped to the college before you arrive. Of course, you're going to need to bring all your personal toiletries and items that you would need to live on campus. You're able to bring a coffee maker, and the coffee maker is acceptable and fine in the res hall room, as long as it has an automatic shut-off feature. So it just has to have the ability to shut off if you forget to shut it off manually. It's good to bring kitchen supplies. You're coming to the world's premier culinary college, and so we anticipate that you're going to need some dishes and pots and pans and other items that you would expect to be able to cook some meals in those community kitchens we're offering. You can bring a smart television. It's always good to coordinate with your roommate, because the rooms are not, gigantic, but they're also not small. But having 2 televisions in a room is something that isn't always necessary. So it's always nice to coordinate with your roommate, once you know who your roommate is, on who's going to bring a TV and who might want to bring an area rug and some of those items that could be shared between you and your roommate. You should bring things like your hair dryer and hair curler and all of those items that you would use in a bathroom. Some people like to sleep with things, which is always one of the questions that comes up when it comes to looking for roommates. And those things are a fan or a white noise machine or headphones. And so you should bring those items that are going to make you comfortable to sleep. And you should also have those conversations with your roommate, because everybody sleeps differently. And some folks need white noise, some folks need the window open, some people need the fan on, some people need the heat on. And so having those conversations up front and early always ensure a much better living experience as you live with someone else. And you're going to need cleaning supplies, hangers, laundry basket, or a laundry bag to throw your items in. A lot of students like laundry bags, particularly if they, while we discourage students from going home too often when they first come to campus, it is unreasonable to think that students that live within an hour or two aren't going to go home at some point. And having a laundry bag is always a nice way of having a parent who might have missed you be quite eager to do the laundry that you accumulated. So if you have a laundry bag, it's nice to take that stuff home. And then things that we ask that you not bring are like furniture that wasn't issued by the CIA. The rooms aren't oversized, and so when you bring extra furniture, it actually inhibits the room space that you are sharing with your roommate. And we ask that you not bring like electrical blankets or items that don't have on-off switches that could become fire safety issues. We ask that you not bring electrical musical instruments. You can certainly bring a guitar that is, acoustic, or you can bring those types of items that aren't going to impact others when it comes to a noise level. But an electric guitar or electrical musical instruments, we ask that you not bring. And no candles, incense burners, melts, wax melts. Those items we ask that you not bring as well because of the open flame.
The other thing I want to bring up there, and Dennis kind of touched on this, but I just want to. So a lot of times we'll find students, they want to bring their entire room with them, and I understand that. But you, once again, remember you're sharing this room with someone else, and even though our rooms are big, I've had a number of staff that when they start working here, we give them a tour of the residence halls, and they always comment that our rooms are much bigger than any room they had when they were in college. Our rooms are big, but you're still sharing it with two people. And if you bring too much stuff on move-in day, that probably means that your parents are going to end up bringing it back home because you're not going to end up having the room for it. Well, you're better off is just bringing what you know you need for the first couple of weeks or so and wait for you and your roommate to both get settled in there. You've set up the room the way you want it. And then you can figure out like, oh, you know what, here's something that we forgot that we could use. And whether that's you go right down the road to, Job Lots or Target or Walmart or TJ Maxx home store or whatever to get some extra stuff, or maybe that's when you have your parents ship you something, or you go home to get something that now you're like, you know what, we have room for this. This would be something that my roommate and I can both use or will fit into our room. So I always joke, don't show up with a U-Haul when you come to moving. You don't have that much room for a U-Haul. And so just keep that in mind. And that's, once again, we're communicating with your roommate ahead of time. And so you will actually get information about your roommate before you come to campus. And so you can start that communication process and figure out who wants to bring what. And once again, you can always bring more stuff if you find out you have room. But if you bring too much stuff, your parents are just going to have to bring it home that day. And so they have to pack the car twice.
And the other item that's listed here is mailroom and shipping. So we have a fully functioning mailroom. We have smart lockers at the mailroom. So as packages come in, you'll get an automated email. This is as you move in and once you're a student at the CIA. You'll get an automated email to let you know that you have a package waiting and it's in locker number 25 and what the code is. You go up there, you push the code in, locker 25 opens, you grab your package and you go back to your room with your package, which could be those items that you forgot to bring or items that you felt like, I don't think I'm gonna need this. And after moving in, like JJ pointed out, you realize I could use this and you ask your parents to ship it to you. We also allow students, and as we get closer to your start date, we'll communicate some information to you on shipping items in advance. So you can ship some of the items that if you're traveling across country via airport and you want to get some items, but you want to get them there in advance, you can ship them in advance. And when you move into your room, the boxes will be available for you to pick up and take to your room. Or you can have OCM, which is the company we work with. You can order bedding and that'll ship in advance. So when you get to campus, your bedding will be here on campus waiting for you. And so we will send out a process for you on how to ship things in advance to campus and how to leverage the mailroom on campus to receive packages. So the roommate process, many of you have probably already completed our housing application. And if you haven't, we encourage you to go to the accepted student portal, and in the checklist, you will see the housing application there as an option. And we want you to complete that. The way the housing application works is that you will fill out the application, and part of that application is going to ask if you'd like to pick a roommate. And there's some options to do that. You can have the system make suggestions of roommates to you. You can search for roommates based on questions that other people may have answered that match to questions you answered. Or you can actually enter information if you know someone specifically that you want to live with. The system will match you up to anyone who has completed an application. So the more people that complete housing applications, the larger the pool is of people that you can request to live with. And the housing application is dynamic. So just because you complete it today doesn't mean that you can't go back in tomorrow or back in 2 weeks from now or back in a month from now and add some additional information or look for a roommate after you've completed it. And we actually encourage you to do that, because if you complete the application in full, then it allows other people to search for you and connect with you. It also allows for you to search for more people to identify a potential roommate before you come. And the way that roommate process works is that you'll see the percent match that someone is to the questions that you answered. So part of that roommate matching process is that we ask a lot of questions. One of them is, I'm a night owl or an early bird. So I get up early or I sleep. I go to bed early. I stay up late and I sleep in the morning. Another one is when I sleep, I need the room to be completely quiet, or I need some white noise, or I need a fan running. And so those are questions that oftentimes come up. And I talked a little bit about the importance of having those conversations with your roommate. And so we try to prompt those conversations in advance by asking what you feel your situation is like when it comes to sleeping or studying or going to class or visitors to the room, or those common things that come up with living with someone. And then the system takes those questions that you answer and it matches someone who answered those questions similarly. And it'll give you that this person is a 100% match or an 80% match or a 60% match. And so those questions are really important. The system will also only recommend people to you who are the same gender. So this question oftentimes comes up because someone may say, well, I have a friend who's a different gender that I'd like to live with. And we can make that happen. We just ask that you send us an email so that we can add that person in, because the system's only going to let you select a gender that's the gender that you identify as. And the other thing about gender on the housing application is that we have your sex at birth, so the gender that you were assigned at birth when you were born. And we also then ask you to tell us what is the gender that you now identify with. And that gender that you identify with is the gender that we use to house you with someone else. And so that's really important, because for most people, it's going to be the same as the gender they were assigned at birth. But for some, it is not. And so that gender is important for you to be able to find someone to live with, to understand that that's how we do housing assignments, is based off the gender that you tell us versus the gender that we know based off of what you were born as. And it's also important in knowing that, in identifying a prospective roommate as well. And the Accepted Student Facebook group is also a great way of meeting roommates. And so a lot of you, if you haven't yet joined the Accepted Student Facebook group, we encourage you to do that. And I see a lot of individuals on there asking questions like, hey, I need a new roommate, and here's some information about myself, or, private message me if you're interested in being my roommate. And so it's a great platform to connect with individuals prior to coming to campus. And then if you've both completed the application, you can then request each other as potential roommates and get to know each other from now until the time that you arrive on campus. So we get questions all the time about pets. And we, one of the challenges with living in a space is that it's a shared space. And so there are individuals who have, pet allergies or allergic to pets or are afraid of pets. And so for that reason, we don't allow pets on campus other than a fish. So you can have, a bowl or a small tank with some fish in that tank, but that's the only pet that we allow on campus.
So now I want to talk to you a little bit about, we talked about one of the reasons for living on campus is that it's a safe environment. And I just want to talk a little bit about the steps that we take and the things we have placed to make sure that students who live on campus feel safe, feel secure, and comfortable in their living environment. So we have campus safety officers on campus 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They're here now while we're going through this process, and students aren't on campus, but they're still here. Those officers do round-the-clock patrols of the campus and the residence halls and the academic buildings. They do foot patrols, they do vehicle patrols, and during the nicer weather in the spring and summer, you'll actually see some of them doing bike patrols. The residence halls themselves are locked 24/7. You cannot get into a residence hall unless you have a student ID that indicates that you live on campus. Now, we do a lot of programming and activities in our residence hall, so we allow students who live on campus to gain access to all residence halls during certain time periods so they can go to different events and they can hang out with their friends and things like that. But at a certain time, 11 o'clock at night, you only have access to your own residence hall, and therefore If you have someone coming to visit you for a late night study group, something like that, you would have to let them into your residence hall, because we want to make sure that the only people that are in the residence halls are people who belong there. Now, we also have security cameras throughout campus, in the parking lots, throughout the residence halls, and all of those are there to ensure that everyone is safe and make sure we can keep an eye on what's going on, and that nothing, for safety, whether it's if there was ever a fire, for instance, the cameras would help us figure out what's going on. If there's something happens to in a residence hall, we can use those cameras to help us figure out what happened. We also have a blue light phone system. Now, some of you may have heard of this. A lot of schools actually used to have, all schools used to have this. Nowadays, you'll see a lot of schools getting rid of their blue light phone system because they're like, well, students have cell phones now, so there's no need for a blue light phone. But we don't go along with that. We think that a blue light phone system is just another step to provide safety and security for our students. So a blue light phone is exactly what it says. Across campus, you'll find these poles that have a blue flashing light on them, and they're all around campus, typically near walking trails and the parking lots. And so anytime a student, if they're not feeling safe, or they're just, it's late at night and they need to walk back to the residence halls, and maybe they don't feel comfortable doing that by themselves, they can just push the button on those blue light phones, and there's an automatic connection to campus safety, as well as an automatic dispatch of a safety officer to that phone to make sure that the student is okay. And so we kept those, even though a lot of other colleges are getting rid of them. Our campus has 2 gates or 2 entrances, and at 9:30 at night, entrance to the campus is limited to the front gate only. And there is a safety officer there to check IDs to make sure anyone coming onto campus after 9:30 o'clock at night or before 5 a.m. has to show that they belong on campus. Now, you'll notice it goes to 5 a.m. So that's because starting around 5 a.m., we have a lot of students and chefs coming to campus for class. That's how early a lot of our classes start. So as of 5 a.m., we're pretty much open for business because we have a lot of classes that are getting ready for the day. And then finally, in our residence halls, we have RAs, which I talked about earlier, which are student leaders who help us make sure that students are safe and secure, as well as being there as a mentor and a leader. And we have pro staff. So we have professional staff members who live in each residence hall. And they're there to help run the building, see to the day-to-day operations, but also there to help you, whether you have an emergency or you just need to talk to someone, or you have questions about things that are going on campus. They plan a lot of the events on campus. They're an amazing resource. And so they're on duty every night, every weekend. You can always get in touch with some member of the residence life staff, no matter the time, day or night. Because if the office is closed, there's a phone number there that you call, and it goes directly to a duty phone that they have on them, so they can answer and help you out with any questions you may have. So you can see that we do a lot to provide safety on our campus, and our campus actually is very safe. We have students. It's a beautiful campus to walk around on. You'll see students walking around it all the time. It's just a great place. People feel safe and secure walking here and hanging out with their friends. And so I'm sure that you will feel safe as well.
So the housing application is available on the Accepted Student Portal. In order to access the application, you have to have paid your deposit. So before it unlocks for you to be able to apply for housing, you have to have paid your deposit in advance. As I pointed out earlier, you can make changes to your housing application up until July 13th. So on July 13th at 5 p.m., we lock the application and we begin working on assignments for the fall. And so anything that we get after July 13th, we can't honor or guarantee that that is going to be the outcome, because we have to start working on assignments, and at some point we have to lock down the application to be able to do that. And then we're hoping that by August 8th, 2020, we will be sending out the first round of room assignments to individuals, so that we will be saying, here's where you're planned to go in campus housing. We ask that you take a look at that, you connect with your roommate in advance, you have a conversation with your roommate, you have conversations about what you should bring and what you shouldn't bring once you get those room assignments sent out in early August.
So once you get all this, of course, the big day, the day that we're all excited about is move-in day. It's probably it's my favorite time of year. It's a time on our campus where everyone comes together because we're really, really excited for you to come. So this year, all the students who are starting at the CIA for the fall semester, move-in day is going to be Labor Day weekend. We're still working out the details of exactly what day everyone's going to move in. So what's going to happen as we get closer, as we start moving through the summer semester, this information is going to be provided to you via your CIA email as well as the Accepted Student Portal. But move-in is an exciting day, and one of the things that's cool about it is that all of the faculty and the staff and our students, leaders who volunteer to be part of our welcome team help you move in. And what I mean help you move in is that they literally will, when you pull up to the residence halls, they will basically surround your car and unload everything for you and bring it up to the room, so you don't have to do anything. And we do that because it just makes one thing a little less something you don't have to worry about. It gives you a little extra time with your family before they have to leave, because on move-in day, we'll start orientation later on, and at that point, families say goodbye because students will be in orientation for the remainder of their time until classes start. So you are going to receive an email at some point with an assigned move-in time, because we have a lot of students who are moving in, and we want to give them all that service of helping them move in. So we stagger the students out throughout the day. So you'll get an actual move-in time and instructions that we ask you to follow. For instance, we provide instructions on how to pack your things, because we have been doing this for a number of years now, and we have come to see that if you do some things up front when it comes to preparing your belongings and packing them a certain way, it makes it a lot easier for us to unload your stuff and get it done quickly, so that you can then spend time with your roommate and your families getting your room set up and then enjoying some time on campus before your families say goodbye. So as we start getting through, once you get your housing application in, that's why you want to get that in as soon as possible. Later on in the summer, you're going to get an email. You'll get one email that's going to have your housing assignment and information about your roommate, and then you're going to get another email later on with your move-in time, and you really want to pay attention to that to make sure that you plan your travels in advance so that you can get here at your assigned move-in time. Dennis, did you have anything else you wanted to say about move-in?
No, I think you covered it.
Cool. All right, Michelle, do you have any questions for us?
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. We have been able to answer a lot of your questions privately during this time, so we're excited about that. We've been able to get to a lot of people individually, but I do have some other quick fire questions that I want to throw out there. Some of you have asked about the different meal plans. You can view all the prices online at our website, cichef.edu. You could just type in the search field meal plans, but just to let everybody know, the standard meal plan is $1,900, and then the options to add the gold points for 325 gold points, it's just $290, and then to add 675 gold points, it's only another $580. So you can view those in print on our website, and you can also change. Students have asked, you can change your meal plan at times if at any point if you would like to purchase additional gold points. So never feel that you're going to go hungry. We're always going to take care of you in terms of the meal points. So some quick fire things. Chef Bruce Mattel, we have students asking some questions about meal plans for vegetarians or for people who only eat organic. I know you touched on that, but can you throw out some other options for students, again, who have certain lifestyle diets?
Yes, I can do that. There is vegetarian and vegan meals readily available through all the production kitchens and down at the Egg as well. The Oasis meals that I described earlier, being free of the 8 major allergens, they are also primarily vegan and some vegetarian, and there are some actually with animal proteins as well, but a good selection there as well. As far as organic goes, no, we do not have an organic meal plan. Usually food around the CIA is made with a combination of conventional and organic food ingredients.
Thank you. There's some questions about the times that students can eat. Production kitchens do have specific times that they're open. So as a student, you'll have a whole schedule of what production kitchens are open at what times. We have even gone to a system where we have flat screen TVs showing you up to the minute what kitchens are open, sometimes kitchens out. So you'll get all of that information. And then also the other options you have that you can eat at other times of the day are the options that are available, the flexible options at the Egg or even the grab and go options. But Bruce, can you talk about options for dining on the weekends?
Yes, so the Egg is open on the weekends. There is a variety of different options there. And depending on the amount of gold points someone has, there is also the opportunity to maybe go to one of our restaurants. So there's quite a lot of options on the weekends as well.
One of the questions is that the meals, that the basic meal plan, how many meals does it cover? Yeah. Can you talk about that, Bruce? Because there's so many different options, but do you have a sense of how many meals overall that it is? Yes.
So some, for example, I think that the blue points are average that a student would need roughly about 20 a day. And those blue points do expire the end of the day or the end of the week. Or as you get further on in the program, you actually even get more flexibility. But the reason why those points do expire is that we have to have students participating in the meal plan in order to put forth those educational competencies that I described earlier. For the students to learn how to make multiple dishes at one time, they need to have people to consume them and to order them and such. So roughly about 20 points a day to get 2 meals. As I said, the ones up in Roth Hall at our production kitchens are bundle meals. So those kitchens are priced anywhere from 8 points to 10 points to 12 points. So if you decide, for example, to eat your meals, maybe you have lunch and dinner at 8-point kitchens, that leaves you about 4 points extra where you could actually go down the Egg in the morning and grab a bagel with cream cheese and a coffee for that. So you can make 3 meals out of those 20 points as well. And then of course there are gold points should you need them to supplement where necessary.
I know it seems a little complicated, but I want everybody to know that you'll get the hang of this very quickly. You will have more options than you know what to do with, and you'll get the hang of it quickly. Some students have asked questions about cooking in the dorms, cooking in the residence halls. You are welcome to use the residence halls to cook for yourself. Some students like doing that for socialization. People also ask questions about the market. Once you arrive on campus, you'll get to see what they have at the market. It's not a full supermarket. It's a lot of local produce and specialty items. So you'll get the hang of everything that's available, and you'll certainly will be able to prepare food in your residence hall.
And Michelle, don't forget to tell them about the farmers market.
Yes, I was just going to say that. So first of all, no one goes hungry at the CIA. I can assure you, there's food, a lot of food always around. And we do on Fridays, we have a farmer's market as well. It is not, you can't use points there, but you can purchase items with a credit card. And the farmer's market usually features we sell our beer if you're of age, the beer that we actually make on campus, as well as bring in food and beverages from local farmers and local manufacturers all in the area. So if you want on a Friday, you could grab a bunch of really nice, beautiful local ingredients in season and then go to your dorm and cook with your friends.
Perfect. We have a lot of questions about laundry. I know we mentioned that laundry is included. Laundry is free, as it's included as part of your fees. We do have laundry facilities available in each residence hall, so I wanted to let people know about that. But Dennis, students are asking if they need to bring their own laundry detergent or accoutrements for their laundry.
I love that word. Yes, you need to bring your own laundry detergent, fabric softener, bleach. One of the things that is kind of like the CIA trade secret, which you're going to learn very quickly from other CIA students, is how best to keep your whites, pristine and crisp and clean and white. And so a lot of our students have tricks of the trade that go into that. One of them is a wax crayon, so a clear wax crayon, oftentimes the ones you would use if you were like dyeing eggs, that you would draw on it so that the dye doesn't stick. And that wax crayon is really important because it allows for you to cover the embroidery on your jacket. And if that happens, then when you bleach your whites, the embroidery won't change color. So I would recommend bringing, a wax crayon, bringing an iron that has an automatic shutoff so that you can keep your whites ironed. You can bring a small ironing board to campus, as well as the laundry detergent, fabric softener, and bleach.
And I've been told that OxyClean is really, really important. So, and a Tide pen. Tide pen, a lot of the students have a Tide pen that they actually carry on them in case they get a stain on their whites while they're in the kitchens. And OxyClean, I've been told, is a student's best friend when it comes to keeping their chef whites white.
A couple quick fire questions if students are asking if they can bring. Can students bring a Keurig?
Yes.
Can students bring a toaster?
No toaster.
No toaster. Can students bring oil diffusers?
No, because that's got a heating element.
Okay.
The reed diffusers that are just like put in oil with the reeds in oil they don't plug in. Yes, you can bring those.
Oh.
Okay.
The ones that plug in, you can't bring.
Can students bring string lights?
One set of string lights, 50 lights minimum.
Per student.
Okay.
Per student.
Can students bring turtles?
No.
Sure.
No.
Okay. Awesome. What year are students able to become an RA?
So you can actually apply to be an RA. So you're going to start in fall. You can actually apply to be an RA that first semester and potentially become an RA by the second semester you are here. Now, a lot of students ask about becoming an RA, which makes sense because, if you're accepted to come to the CIA, we know that you're the type of student that's already looking for those opportunities to be a leader on campus as well as within the industry. So we have a lot of students who are interested in becoming an RA their first year here at the college. What I will tell you is if you want to be an RA, I'll tell you right now, here's the secret. You need to hit the ground running when it comes to getting involved. If you spend, there are so many opportunities on our campus and so many great things to do that you really should be spending very little time in your room except when you need to sleep and when you need to study, get your homework done. Otherwise, you need to be out and about. The students who get hired to be RAs are the students that we see out and about, making connections, offering to help with things, volunteering, becoming a part of the welcome team, for instance. A lot of RAs started out on the welcome team, or volunteering to become an orientation leader, being involved in clubs, helping with food enthusiast classes as they get farther into the program. The more you put yourself out there from day one so that the hall directors and the area coordinators and myself and Dean Macheska, that we know who you are, greater chance you're becoming an RA. If you spend all your time in your room, it's going to be hard to get those leadership opportunities because the leadership opportunities exist outside on the campus. They don't come to your room. That's the only thing we don't do. We do a lot of things. We provide you lots of opportunities, a lot of great activities for you to do to help with those networking and building those skills that are going to make you an amazing employee when you graduate from here. But you got to leave your room. So if you know that you want to be an RA, you're going to move into campus, you're going to get in, and that next week, that first week, you're going to be starting to look for opportunities. You're going to be making sure your chefs know who you are. You're going to be making sure that your professors know who you are, and that the people that work in the Campus Life Student Rec Center know who you are, and that you go to events and that we see you out and about. Because as an RA, that's an expectation, that you're out and about, that you're visible, that you're helping people, you're connecting with people. That's something you have to do as an RA. So we're looking for students who are doing that already. But you can apply, and you will have an opportunity to apply your very first semester here.
Quickfire, are mini freezers allowed?
No.
Okay.
There's a mini freezer that's connected to the micro fridge. So you have a mini freezer already with the micro fridge.
It's an actual freezer too. It's not like that little compartment that you get in some of those like cube refrigerators. It's an actual freezer section.
Awesome. We have a mom who's asking where she could find one of those CIA mom t-shirts that was in one of the photos. I tried looking for you during this session, and it appears they are out on our website. I know we have some in our campus store when we're back in session, so hopefully you'll be able to get one on campus. But we do have some apparel on the website through Barnes & Noble, our CIA books. If you just Google CIA bookstore, Barnes & Noble, the website will come up, and you can get some apparel there. But I didn't see the mom t-shirt, so I'm not sure if know that we did have it available on our website.
On move-in day, I'm sure they'll have them too.
Got it. A question was about, does the cost of room and board increase as you upgrade in housing? Just to clarify, when we talk about room and board, room is considered your residence hall and board is considered your meals. So the meal plan, that you can adjust to, based on what you would like. So, that is, your choice, which meal plan you decide to purchase. If you do, as you go and become an upperclassman, if you do choose to live in either the lodges or the townhouses, there is an increase in fee for that, for the luxury of it and the privacy, but you have more options. So you don't have to live in those dorms. So you can always make your choices based on preferences as well as on economics. We have a lot of questions about the roommate process. I think we need to kind of circle back to that. So after filling out the application, the housing application, can you remind everybody when they would find out who their roommate will be?
So when you complete the application and request a roommate, that person that has been requested is going to get an email to confirm that they want to be your roommate. And that will engage a process between the two of you so that you'll know, yes, this person has accepted the request or has denied or declined the request. And so if they accept the request, then that allows for you to connect with them in advance, to have conversations in advance, to get to know each other, to talk more about what it's like to live with each other. And so you're going to know that the person has accepted your request. And you will find out on August 8th when we send out the assignment letters if that match was able to be accommodated. What I'll say is that if you make that request by July 13th, we house individuals with roommate requests first to try to ensure that we honor the requests. And when we can't honor the request, it's usually because someone has requested more roommates than we have housing that allots. So for example, if someone requests 5 roommates and the most we have is a quad, then someone is left out of that mix. And we can't assign 5 people to a room that only accommodates 4. So there are times where we can't do it. There are also times, and this is part of the responsibility of going to college, is to have conversations, because there's times where someone will say, yes, I want to be your roommate, but then they secretly call Res Life and say, hey, can you get me out of this? And we encourage you to have those conversations in advance and to talk with one another so that we're not put in that tough situation of having to tell someone, yeah, this person really doesn't want to live with you, even though they told you they do want to live with you. So we encourage you to have those conversations before accepting a roommate request, to talk with one another, to get to know one another. And like I said earlier, up until July 13th, there's a lot of flexibility in adjusting who your roommate will be. And if you don't select a roommate, we're going to pick one for you. And we're going to pick one for you based on how you answer the questions on your housing application. So that same matching that you use to identify your own roommate is the matching that we use to pick a roommate for you.
And so I actually want to point out something about that. Oops, sorry, hit the wrong button there. It's very important that you are honest when you fill out this the form. And parents, it's very important that you let your students fill out the form themselves and don't fill it out for them. So, you know, don't put that you are a night owl when you're not. You know, because we do use that questionnaire, and if you're not honest with the questions, it can make it challenging for us to help identify roommates. So just make sure that you're being honest with that, as well as making sure that you're the one filling it out. Believe it or not, we've had parents fill out the questionnaire before for their students, and the parents like to fill out what they think their son or daughter should be doing rather than what is actually the reality. So please make sure that you fill that out yourself and that you're honest with your answers.
We're getting some questions, guys, about students that are coming to CIA either as transfer students or, you know, coming to college, you know, not for the first time, who might be a little bit older and want to know where they will be placed or how they will find a roommate, you know, that is in their peer group. Can you touch on that briefly?
Yeah, so when you fill out the housing application, you're going to see age. So age is one of the items that you can see. As well as gender. So it's going to allow you to connect up with individuals to see who's going to be a good match for you. And we also take into credits. So as I mentioned earlier, the credits that you have, the more credits you have, the greater the options for housing. We take the credits into consideration, even for students that are coming in, that are transferring in, that have a lot of credits. We take those items into consideration. So you may not end up in Hudson Hall, you may end up in another building on campus, you may not end up in the townhouses right away, but you will get different housing based on the number of credits you're coming in with. So we look at that, we try to take all of those items into consideration as we make housing assignments.
There have been a lot of questions about students moving in and moving in perhaps early. I just want to remind everyone that all the information about move-in will be available to you ahead of time. We do make special accommodations for our international students, so I want to let everybody know about that. Just
Michelle, I saw another question that I just wanted to chime in on real quick for everyone to know about summer break. And so this is a common question that comes up often is, will I have to leave during summer break? And the answer to that is yes, you would have to leave during summer break and move out of your room. It goes along the lines of what Dr. JJ talked about in terms of not bringing your whole room, because at some point you will have to pack up and move out. And every summer break we ask students to move out. The exception is this year, because of the current situation and how we've adjusted classes, we will not be requiring students to move out this summer break because the break between semesters is only a week. And so students will remain in their rooms this summer break. But when you start in the fall, the summer of 2021, you would be asked to vacate your residence hall.
We have, speaking of that, Dennis, we have gotten a few questions about anticipated changes, related to the current, COVID-19 situation. And I just want to let everybody know that we are, of course, monitoring this situation very carefully and staying in touch and following guidelines from all, local, state, federal agencies. At this point, we haven't, made any changes to our fall 2020 entry date, or, in terms of housing, or in terms of the move-in date. But of course, if anything changes, we will let you know. At this point, we haven't veered off of the planned agenda for the move-in and the start date for the fall term. But we'll, stay on top of it and keep you abreast of any updates that you have. Let me see here. I just wanted to get to a couple of more questions that we had. Students asked if kitchens that are available in our residence halls, if they have pots and pans, or do students need to bring their own to cook with?
There are kitchens in the residence halls, and we have limited number of equipment that are in each residence hall. So we ask students to bring what they're going to need. And so usually that's like a small pot, maybe a small frying pan, some basic cooking utensils, although you're going to have many of them in your knife kit that you're provided when you arrive on campus. So usually just a small pot and a small pan, or maybe a mixing bowl, a small mixing bowl, is usually sufficient to be able to cook something in the kitchen.
Are the residence halls co-ed?
Yes.
Yes, the residence halls are co-ed by room. So that means that you and your roommate typically are identify as the same gender, and that your neighbor that lives next door may be an opposite gender. So every room is gender specific, but they're not co-ed by floor or by building. They're co-ed by room.
Bruce, I hope you're still with us. We have a question again about food allergies. Can you just touch again about how students should go ahead with setting up a plan to accommodate food allergies?
Yes, they will talk with one of the specialists that are located at the Learning Commons and create a plan for them. And then, of course, as they go around campus and get their meals, they will need to just double check with the instructor, the chef, and make sure that what's advertised on their menus or on signage is, accurate. It usually is, but, we do have, it is a school, so we just always like to make sure. And we do have, of course, that Oasis Kitchen that I described earlier that is prepares food that's free of all the 8 major allergens. So the best thing is self-advocacy, registering with the specialists down in the Learning Commons, and then work, we will, even as the deans, we will work with you to make sure that we identify kitchens that could best serve you. We reach out to some of the chef instructors, and they're well aware that they may be the student that will identify themselves to them, and they need to just make sure that the food is allergen free. But I probably misspoke when I said allergen free, because if it's a real sensitive allergy, then you really need to probably stick with the food from Oasis, because of course there's always the potential for cross contact. For example, if you have a very significant flour allergy, flour gets airborne sometimes in kitchens and in bake shops, and it's very difficult to avoid it. So you just need to work with the specialist, and they can address the concerns that you may have.
Everybody brought up a lot of great questions today. Thank you so much. We still have other questions, but we're going to follow up with everyone individually. We are so excited that you joined us today. If you're a CI accepted student, keep on checking on your emails, because we will be doing more of these sessions with related topics to help get you settled and get you set up for success at the CIA. So once again, on behalf of the whole team, thank you so much for joining us, and we can't wait until we can host you on campus. Take care, everybody. Stay safe. Stay home. Take care.
Have a good day.